Hey there, friend. Welcome back. I was hoping you'd find your way here tonight. As you lie there in the quiet dark, imagine for a moment, just beyond our world, a silent light is waiting to dance, above the frozen edges of the earth. Something ancient and gentle is stirring, and tonight we're going to explore its secrets together. So go ahead, let your head sink a little deeper into your pillow. Feel the day's weight slip from your shoulders, melting down into the mattress. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you let it out, let your eyes fall softly shut. Now, before we drift into the quiet, I want to share something calming with you. Tonight, I'll tell you about the secrets of the Northern Lights. Fascinating little truths, one at a time, like tiny glowing pebbles dropped into a still pond. And if you happen to fall asleep somewhere along the way, that is perfectly, wonderfully fine. That is exactly what this space is for. If nights like these help you find a little peace, I'd be honored if you subscribed so I can be here for you whenever you need a voice in the dark. Now, let's begin. Picture the vast, dark sky above the Arctic. A gentle breath of color appears, a pale, luminous green, like the first soft sigh of spring. This tender hue comes from oxygen, the very same element that fills our lungs. High above us, these oxygen particles are being grazed, ever so softly, by energy from the sun. It's a quiet, invisible exchange, one that paints the heavens with the ghost of life itself. But sometimes, a deeper magic unfolds. The green melts away, and a breathtaking, rare deep red emerges. This happens when solar energy reaches oxygen floating much, much higher, at the very upper edges of our atmosphere. It is a shy and elusive color, a soft crimson blush hovering on the edge of space, like a secret shared only with the silent, watching stars. Speaking of shifting colors, imagine the softest purple you can conceive, the color of twilight snow or a distant field of lavender in the fading dusk, and deep, drifting blues like the heart of an ancient glacier. These cooler, more mysterious shades are the work of nitrogen. As the solar wind touches these particles, they release a gentle, sapphire glow, a calm and cooling counterpart to the warmth of the green below. Have you ever considered where this whole serene spectacle actually begins? It starts with our sun, not with a flare or a burst, but with a slow, continuous exhaling. The sun breathes out a stream of charged particles, a silent, invisible solar wind that whispers through the solar system. It's a flow more delicate than a summer breeze, drifting outward, endlessly, quietly. When this gentle stream of starlight reaches our world, it doesn't just scatter. It is met by a great, protective embrace, the Earth's magnetic field. This field acts like a silent guide, a giant, invisible hand that tenderly gathers these particles. It cradles them and steers them away from the busy middle of our planet, drawing them instead toward the profound, quiet stillness of the North and South Poles. And so, as the Earth drifts into its long polar night, a canopy of light is woven at both ends of the world. While we call the northern display the aurora borealis, there is a mirrored dance happening in the south, the aurora australis. Imagine them occurring together. Two luminous, synchronous crowns of light resting upon both poles, a balanced, glowing echo wrapping our planet in a complete and perfect ring of peace. Long before scientists gave these lights their names, other voices wove stories to explain their magic. In ancient Norse mythology, the shimmering lights weren't lights at all. They were believed to be the reflections of the Valkyries' armor, a soft, silvery glow cast by these celestial beings as they rode silently across the night sky. Picture a figure on a winged horse, floating gently over a frozen, snow-blanketed landscape, her resting armor catching the light of a moon we cannot see. And finally, this quiet beauty isn't a constant, but a patient, slow dance across time. The lights are linked to a great celestial rhythm called the solar cycle. Every 11 years, the sun reaches a peak of activity, a gentle high tide in its breath. During these solar maximums, the auroras grow more frequent, more vibrant, and they drift. They drift further away from the poles, reaching toward the equator, allowing more of the sleeping world to tilt their heads back and witness their silent, profound peace. Imagine yourself standing alone under a vast northern sky. The world around you is utterly silent, so quiet you can hear the beat of your own heart, a soft and steady rhythm. And in that deep quiet, Some people report hearing something utterly unexpected, a faint crackling sound like tiny sparks from an ancient fire dancing in the dark. Or perhaps they hear soft whispers, a gentle murmur, as if the lights themselves had a voice that only the stillness can reveal.
Scientists believe this may be caused by the discharge of electrical currents in the air. A gentle, rhythmic hum weaving through the atmosphere. A subtle, hidden song of energy that only the most attentive ears might catch. A secret dialogue between the earth and the sky. And if you long to hear this quiet melody for yourself, you might journey to a place within the auroral oval. This is a ring-shaped region, draped gracefully around the magnetic pole. Imagine a circle of possibility, waiting in the far north. Places like Tromsø in Norway, or Fairbanks in Alaska. These remote sanctuaries offer a perfect, still window to the heavens. Here, you can watch the curtains of light begin their slow, floating drift. As night falls like a soft blanket over the sleeping earth. As you gaze upward from that quiet place, you'll notice the lights move in flowing patterns. They are often described as curtains or spirals, unfolding gently.
This is because they follow the invisible, graceful lines of Earth's magnetic field. Imagine the field as unseen threads, woven through the fabric of space. The aurora glides along these threads like delicate silk ribbons, floating in a slow cosmic breeze that carries them across the scattered stars. A silent, graceful dance that has been unfolding for eons, just for you. For this ancient dance to be seen with true clarity, the atmosphere must conspire in perfect stillness. There must be no clouds to obscure the tender view. On such nights, the sky transforms into a deep, velvet blackness, a canvas of pure, quiet darkness that stretches to infinity. Against this perfect backdrop, the aurora begins to emerge. Soft greens and gentle pinks bloom like watercolors bleeding into silk. Delicate and luminous, a whispered secret in the vast night. Watching this slow, drifting display of light brings a feeling that defies the freezing air around you. A profound stillness settles over your shoulders like a warm embrace, and yet a gentle warmth grows somewhere deep inside, quiet and steady. As if the lights are reaching down to touch your soul, softly, the slow, rhythmic pulsing of the colors soothes your mind. It encourages a sense of drifting peace, a quiet wonder that expands gently. You become part of the night, part of the silence, breathing slowly under the endless stellar canopy, utterly at peace. Now, let your curiosity gently wander, up from the familiar emerald curtains, to notice something far more rare. While the greens are the most common, there are nights when violet and deep crimson lights drift across the sky. These colors appear when solar particles reach the lower thermosphere. Imagine them as delicate brushstrokes painted at the very edge of our atmosphere. At altitudes of around 200 kilometers, the particles meet oxygen in a slow, quiet embrace. The result is a soft, velvet glow, a deep, wine-dark shimmer that feels almost secret, as though the sky is whispering a color it usually keeps hidden. You might see a faint band of violet, like the edge of a twilight cloud, or a wash of crimson spreading with the stillness of a flower opening in the dark. This rare palette is not ours alone, though. The same gentle phenomenon drifts across worlds far beyond our own. The northern lights are not unique to Earth. Similar shimmering curtains of light float across the atmospheres of Jupiter and Saturn. These immense gas giants hold magnetic fields of unimaginable breadth, great invisible wings that gather the solar wind with the tenderness of a parent guiding a child. At their poles, the charged particles settle into peaceful, glowing displays, vast auroral ovals that slowly undulate, like the steady breath of a sleeping colossus. On Saturn, the rings themselves sometimes catch this pale radiance, a subtle glow that seems to echo the stillness of deep space, a reminder that even the most distant places know something of beauty and calm. And long before we measured these lights with instruments, we measured them with story. In ancient Norse mythology, the lights were softly imagined as the shimmering armor of the Valkyries. Picture those warrior maidens gliding through the night sky, their polished shields catching an otherworldly gleam, a river of silver and green trailing behind them. This cultural lens transformed a scientific phenomenon into a celestial bridge connecting different realms of existence. The sky became a threshold, a place where the earthly and the divine could gently touch. Every flicker was a reflection of something sacred, a dance of honor and memory that soothed the soul and reminded those who watched that they were held within a much larger, kinder story. And what is the quiet engine behind all this wonder? The phenomenon is caused by the solar wind, a gentle stream of charged particles that travels from the sun at millions of miles per hour. But think of it not as a storm, but as a steady, soft exhalation from our star, a breath that has journeyed for days across the quiet dark. When these particles meet Earth's magnetic shield, they are guided softly toward the poles, like tired travelers shown to a warm room. There they merge with our atmosphere, a peaceful union that releases energy as light. It is a slow, patient process, the sky accepting a gift one particle at a time, turning the invisible into something you can almost feel on your skin. To track this quiet dance, scientists use a scale called the K-index. It measures the quiet intensity of geomagnetic activity, with the same gentle precision a watchmaker uses to count a heartbeat. A low number on the K-index indicates a peaceful night, the lights resting, barely rippling along the horizon. A higher number suggests the lights will dance, with more fluidity and brightness, an unfolding choreography of slow arcs and folds, like silk gliding through water. There is something deeply reassuring in knowing that even this vast, intangible spectacle can be captured with such simple elegance. A number that translates the sky's mood into a whisper you can hold in your mind as you drift ever closer to sleep. The aurora borealis. Even the name itself feels like a whispered secret from ancient times. It comes to us from Aurora, the Roman goddess of dawn, whose rosy fingers painted the morning sky, and from Boreas, the Greek god of the north wind, whose breath carried the chill of distant frozen lands. When those old civilizations looked up at shimmering lights they couldn't explain, they wove them into stories of divine beings. They gave the mystery a name, so that even in the darkness, the sky felt a little more like home. To truly see these lights, you must journey away from the warm, familiar glow of city lights. You need a place of deep darkness, where the night wraps around you like a velvet blanket. There, your eyes begin to relax, letting go of the sharp edges of daylight vision. Slowly, they drift into a softer state of seeing, where the faintest glimmer of emerald green becomes visible. It's as if the darkness itself teaches you how to notice the quietest wonders, and what your eyes discover in that darkness is something truly magical. The lights often appear as great, flowing curtains or ribbons hanging in the sky as if suspended by invisible threads. They follow the curving lines of Earth's magnetic field, those silent, unseen guides that wrap around our planet. These magnetic lines shape the solar light into soft, undulating waves, rippling gently across the stars. Imagine the most delicate fabric you've ever seen, now floating in slow motion against the vast, silent cosmos. There's a certain rhythm to when the lights dance their most peaceful dance. During the autumn and spring equinoxes, the tilt of our Earth aligns just so, like a door left slightly ajar. This allows the solar wind, a stream of particles from the sun, to enter our atmosphere with a graceful, effortless flow. The sky becomes a stage for a quiet performance, one that unfolds without hurry, perfect for those who watch in the stillness of the night. It is a window of cosmic harmony, when everything seems to breathe in gentle synchrony, and for some, the experience goes beyond sight alone. The sound of the aurora is a rare, whispered mystery, heard only by those who listen with more than their ears. Some describe it as a faint, distant crackle, like the settling of ice on a frozen lake. Others have compared it to the soft rustle of silk as it slides across a quiet room. This gentle auditory experience happens when electric charges build up in the air, creating a quiet harmony with the visual display. It is as if the lights are humming a lullaby just for you, a secret song of the earth and sun. Still here, floating among those silent curtains of light. That's okay. You don't need to be anywhere else. But if your mind is still wandering through that ancient glowing stillness, there are many more gentle secrets to share. If you're enjoying this quiet journey, a like helps other night owls find their way here too. The aurora often begins with a familiar pale green, a color so gentle it seems to breathe across the sky. But sometimes, the lights drift into something rarer. Imagine a deep purple, like the softest velvet hanging in the night, or a crimson glow, warm and quiet, like the last embers of a distant fire. These hues appear when particles from the sun travel deeper into our atmosphere. They meet oxygen at heights over 200 miles up, and there in that silent space, a soft glow spreads slowly, painting the darkness with colors that feel like a dream. And as we watch these colors shift and drift, we might remember the ancient stories that tried to explain them. In Old Norse mythology, these shimmering curtains were not just light. They were the reflections of the Valkyrie's armor, gentle glimmers floating across the heavens, spirits guiding travelers toward a peaceful, eternal rest. Imagine looking up and feeling that quiet guidance, a soft path of light leading you away from worry, into a calm and endless sleep. These lights are not alone in their silent dance. Far to the south, there is a twin called the Aurora Australis. It mirrors the northern lights over the frozen, quiet landscapes of Antarctica, two displays in harmony, moving together across the globe. Picture the vast white ice below, silent and still. And above it, the same gentle colors drifting. A secret conversation between the poles, while the world rests. Sometimes, the aurora seems to have a voice, a very soft and delicate sound. Some people hear a gentle crackling while watching the lights. It whispers like dry leaves rustling in a slow breeze, or a distant quiet hum that blends with your own breath. Scientists believe this comes from the discharge of electricity in the air. It adds a delicate auditory layer to the visual dance, a sound so faint, you might think it is just your imagination. But it is the lights themselves, singing a lullaby to the earth. The colors we see are like a painter's palette, chosen by the very air we breathe. Each hue is determined by the gas touched by the solar wind. Oxygen gives us the classic pale green we know so well, and sometimes a rare deep red that floats like a gentle memory. Nitrogen paints the sky in soft pinks and floating purples. Imagine each particle of light choosing its color as it drifts down. A quiet brushstroke in the night, blending science with dreams, while you slowly drift into your own peaceful rest. As the year softly turns, there are two special moments that go almost unnoticed: the March equinox and the September equinox. During these times, our Earth tilts just so, a gentle, quiet alignment. This tilt allows the solar wind to glide more smoothly into our magnetic field. Imagine a warm, luminous energy, slowly filling the night sky, like honey pouring into a bowl. It's a deep, peaceful breath from the universe, wrapping the world in a soft, glowing blanket. You can almost feel the stillness settle around you, as if the sky itself is holding its breath. The quiet anticipation of the lights beginning their slow, ancient dance. And where do these lights love to gather? Let your mind drift to a ring, a quiet, invisible ring around the top of the world. Scientists call this the aurora oval. It's a serene, ring-shaped region, softly cradling the magnetic poles. Imagine it as a warm, gentle nest, where the sun's particles are gathered with care. This invisible boundary doesn't pull or push, it simply allows them to rest. And from there, slowly, almost imperceptibly, these particles begin to drift toward the Earth. They float down like feathers in a still room. It's a place of constant quiet activity, hidden from our hurried world. A silent, luminous dance is always happening there, in the deep velvet darkness above. Long ago, early explorers witnessed this dance and searched for words. They didn't have our scientific understanding, so they described what they felt in their hearts. They called these lights celestial curtains, swaying in a slow, rhythmic breeze. And that's exactly what it looks like, a vast, shimmering drapery in the heavens. But what they were seeing was the Earth's magnetic field at work. It gently guides the particles in undulating waves, up and down, side to side, in a silent, graceful waltz. Imagine a massive, soft curtain, made of light, breathing in the sky. Each fold and ripple is a quiet song of our planet's protective embrace. A lullaby written in light and motion. These celestial curtains are a reminder of something even vaster. They are a visual echo of the sun's constant, quiet breath. Scientists call this the solar wind. It's a stream of tiny, invisible particles traveling millions of miles through the silent void of space. Imagine that journey, so long, so vast, so utterly peaceful. And then, after all that time, they arrive to our nighttime sky. They come to paint a picture, a slow, drifting masterpiece of color. It's like the sun is whispering to us from across the cosmos, sending a gentle, glowing lullaby. You can almost feel the patience in that journey, the quiet dedication of this endless, silent breeze. But to truly see this whispered painting, you must find a special kind of darkness, a place of deep velvet night, far away from all city lights. Here, in these still moments, the world becomes very small and very quiet. The horizon softens, becoming gentle and blurred, and the sky opens up. It becomes a vast canvas for the slow, drifting glow of the atmosphere. You might stand there, barely breathing, as the colors ripple and fade. It's a private, intimate show, performed just for you in the silence. And in that darkness, you don't just see the lights, you feel them, deep in your soul, a warm and gentle tide of color washing over you. Close your eyes, and imagine yourself lying beneath a vast, dark sky. The air is cool and still. The earth beneath you feels soft and welcoming. Above you, the heavens begin to glow with a gentle light. It's a light that moves slowly, like a drifting ribbon. Let your breathing become deep and even. Usually, the northern lights appear in shades of green. It's a color that feels like nature itself breathing, a soft, living green that seems to pulse with a quiet rhythm. But sometimes, the lights drift into something rarer, deep, velvety purple, warm, soft crimson. These hues arrive when the sun's energy reaches deeper into our atmosphere. Tiny particles from the sun travel across the vastness of space. They meet the oxygen high above us, at heights of over 200 miles. So far away, so quiet. You can almost imagine the colors as a slow, silent painting in the sky. Long ago, people looked up at these lights and told stories. The ancient Norse people saw something truly magical. They whispered that the shimmering ribbons were the armor of the Valkyries. Those were the warrior maidens who chose the brave. The glowing bands were not just light, but a gentle guide. They believed the Valkyries rode across the sky, carrying souls to a peaceful resting place. A place of eternal calm, beyond all worry. Imagine those ribbons, softly floating, leading the way. A quiet procession of light across the darkness. And these lights are not alone in the world. Far to the south, a twin dances in the frozen sky. It is called the Aurora Australis. Over the white, silent expanse of Antarctica, the southern lights play. Sometimes they drift further north. They might appear near the quiet shores of Tasmania or the peaceful hills of New Zealand. The same slow, glowing movement, the same silent rhythm, a mirror of light on the other side of the planet. It's as if the earth itself is wrapped in a gentle, luminous shawl. In the deepest quiet, the auroras even have a voice. Scientists have discovered that they make a soft, rhythmic sound. It's like a gentle crackle or a distant hum. So faint you might think it's only your imagination. This sound comes from a quiet discharge of electricity in the air, but you can only hear it in the most profound silence. When the world around you is completely still. When even your own breathing feels loud. It's a sound that seems to belong to a dream, a sound that invites you to let go. And that green glow, the one we see most often. It's created when tiny electrons, those invisible specks of energy, meet oxygen molecules. This happens at lower altitudes, between 60 and 150 miles up. The meeting is gentle, but it releases a soft light, like a slow, glowing exhale from the sky. This green is the heart of the aurora, the steady, calming pulse that so many of us watch. It's a reminder that the universe is alive, but in the gentlest way possible. A lullaby of color, singing you to sleep. Now, let yourself drift with these lights. They are still there above the clouds, even when you cannot see them, quietly dancing, quietly humming. And as you sink deeper into rest, know that the sky is full of soft, moving color, always moving, always peaceful. The northern lights are watching over you, a silent guardian of the night. So close your eyes and let the colors carry you into a deep, restful sleep. As you drift deeper into sleep, let your mind wander to the quiet north. Sometimes, when the sun is especially active, the northern lights wander far from their usual home. They drift south, over gentle landscapes and sleeping towns. People in the northern United Kingdom or the northern United States might look up and see them. It feels like a quiet secret, a gift from the sky. These soft colors float and shimmer, as if the universe is painting a gentle lullaby just for them, and the shapes they make are never the same. Sometimes they appear as flowing curtains, other times as spirals that twist and turn slowly. These movements are guided by something we cannot see. The Earth's magnetic field, like invisible rivers, gently pulls the solar particles toward the poles. Imagine a river of light flowing silently across the dark. It's a slow dance choreographed by forces that have existed for billions of years. These rivers of light have stirred the imagination of Arctic peoples for countless generations. Some saw the lights as the spirits of ancestors playing a game. Not a game of competition, but of pure joy. They imagined the spirits kicking a walrus skull across the vast sky. This story turned a distant, cosmic event into something warm and familiar. It brought the community together, reminding them that those who have passed are still near, laughing and playing above. The light begins its journey far away, on the surface of the sun. The solar wind travels at nearly 1,000,000 miles per hour across the emptiness. But by the time it reaches us, it has become a soft, invisible breeze. You would never feel it against your skin. It simply slips into our atmosphere, and there it reveals its hidden colors. It's like a whisper that becomes a song only when it meets the air we breathe. To truly see this wonder, you must seek out profound darkness. Far from the glow of city lights, in the stillness of a frozen midnight, the sky transforms. It becomes a velvet canvas, deep and black. Then the colors arrive, drifting slowly, one after another. They paint themselves across the vastness with a gentle hand. In that silence, time seems to pause. You are just a quiet witness to a light that has traveled so far to say hello. Imagine the night sky, deep and still, as you drift toward sleep. A soft green glow often shimmers there, the most familiar shade of the northern lights. But sometimes, on the rarest of nights, the light deepens. It shifts into velvety purples and a gentle, distant red. These quiet colors appear when tiny particles from the sun drift down to lower, quieter layers of our atmosphere. There they meet oxygen atoms in a slow, peaceful interaction, painting the darkness with a blush of crimson or a wash of deep violet. It feels like the sky itself is taking a long, calm breath. Long ago, in the ancient lands of the Norse, people gazed up and saw something more. They believed these shimmering curtains were the glowing armor of the Valkyries, those gentle warrior spirits. They imagined the lights as a peaceful, swaying bridge called the Bifrost, a luminous pathway reaching from our earthly realm all the way up to the quiet, celestial halls above. It was a story of connection, a soft link between here and the infinite, and in a way, their wonder touched the truth. The lights are born from a silent dance, a graceful partnership between the sun and our Earth's magnetic field. This vast, invisible field acts like a soft shield, guiding the sun's gentle breath of charged particles toward the poles. It is a slow, quiet funnel, redirecting the solar wind with infinite patience. There is no sound to this process, only a silent, luminous creation unfolding above us. Yet, on very still nights, when the display is especially intense, some people whisper of hearing something. A faint crackling sound, like the quiet rustle of old silk or the soft murmur of distant ice. Scientists believe this is not the lights themselves speaking, but a slow buildup of static electricity in the air near the ground. It is a delicate secret, a tiny whisper shared only with the quietest listeners, and this gentle wonder is not alone in the world. Far to the south, over the frozen stillness of the Antarctic, a mirrored dance floats gracefully through the darkness. It is called the Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights. Both poles north and south experience this celestial glow at the same time, in a perfect, balanced harmony. Two quiet crowns of light, resting at opposite ends of our drifting planet. So as you close your eyes, imagine that soft, silent light wrapping around the world, a gentle, glowing cradle in the deep of space. The most common color you'll see is a soft, pale green, almost like the first breath of spring, suspended in the darkness. This gentle light is born when tiny particles from the sun drift down and meet the oxygen in our atmosphere somewhere between 60 and 150 miles above us. The oxygen molecules, after this quiet touch, release a glow, a shimmering veil that seems to float without effort, as if the night itself were exhaling a dream. And while those lights drift above, there are others who feel that same invisible pull. Migratory birds on their long journeys sense the Earth's magnetic fields, the same deep currents that guide the aurora's dance. This unseen map is woven into their very being, allowing them to navigate across vast, dark oceans and continents with a quiet, unerring precision. They simply drift, trust, and follow a force older than memory, just as the lights do, far overhead. To truly witness these soft hues, you must find a place of deep, velvety stillness. Far from the warm orange glow of streetlights and cities, there lies a darkness so complete it feels like floating in a sea of ink. The Arctic wilderness becomes a perfect canvas, silent and patient, and against that black velvet, the most delicate shades of green and rose can finally emerge. In that sacred quiet, the aurora feels like a secret whispered just for you. The lights themselves follow a slow breathing rhythm, a cycle that spans nearly 11 years. This is the sun's own heartbeat, growing stronger, then softer, then strong again. During the time we call solar maximum, the sky becomes more alive, filling the long polar nights with frequent flowing waves of color. It's as if the universe is painting with a gentler hand during those years, inviting you to watch a slow, silent symphony. When the aurora does appear, it often moves in slow, undulating curtains. They seem to breathe with the wind folding and unfolding, as if the sky itself has fallen into a deep cosmic slumber. These gentle movements stretch time, each ripple erases the hurry of the world, leaving only a sense of endless quiet beauty. You could watch forever and still feel like you're floating at the edge of a distant, peaceful dream. The lights are still there even as your eyes grow heavy. Let those soft curtains of color wrap around you now. I'll keep speaking, low and steady, just rest. As you drift into the quiet of this night, let your mind float among the stars. Tonight, we journey to the far north, where the sky tells ancient stories of light and color and sound. For the most part, the northern lights paint the sky in soft shades of green, a gentle wash of color that floats across the darkness. But sometimes, on very special nights, the lights drift into deeper hues, a deep crimson, like the last glow of a sunset held in the sky. Or a violet so profound, it seems almost like a dream. These rare colors come from a quiet dance high above us. Solar particles, tiny travelers from the sun, sink deeper into our atmosphere. They meet with oxygen and nitrogen at heights of over 200 miles. It is a slow, gentle interaction that creates these fleeting, beautiful shades. These rare colors, they remind us of the deep mysteries of the sky, mysteries that ancient peoples tried to understand through stories. In the old Norse sagas, the northern lights were not just light. They were the armor of the Valkyries, reflecting the gentle fire of the cosmos. As these maidens floated across the night, their shining gear cast a soft, shimmering glow. This was the Bifrost, the trembling bridge, a pathway of light that connected the mortal earth to the serene realm of the gods. It was a bridge of peace, a quiet crossing that only the bravest and most worthy could see. But the lights, they do more than just paint the sky. Sometimes, on the stillest of nights, they speak in a language of sound, a gentle hum, a soft whisper that seems to come from the heavens themselves. This is the song of the aurora, what scientists call auroral acoustics. It is a sound so faint that you must listen with your heart, not just your ears. Imagine standing in the frozen quiet and hearing a low, melodious tone. It rises and falls. Like the breath of the earth, this whisper is born from electrical currents, dancing in the cold, thin air, a quiet conversation between the sun's energy and the silence of the Arctic night. All of this beauty, the colors and the whispers, it begins with a journey that starts far, far away. From the sun, a gentle stream of particles flows outward. This is the solar wind, a soft breath of the star that gives us life. These tiny charged pieces, they drift through the vast empty space. And as they near our world, they feel a pull. The Earth's magnetic field, a silent, invisible guide, shepherds them toward the poles. There, they begin their slow, graceful dance. They mingle with our atmosphere, and a luminous curtain unfolds, a curtain of light, that ripples and sways, like silk in a gentle breeze. For many cultures across the frozen north, these lights held a deeper meaning. They were not just particles or solar wind, they were the spirits of ancestors, dancing in a warm, celestial glow. Imagine looking up and seeing your loved ones, long past, moving in a joyful, eternal celebration. These sightings were treated with deep reverence, a quiet moment, to feel a connection that transcends our physical world. The aurora was a bridge between the here and the beyond, a peaceful, shimmering link to the ethereal plane. It was a reminder that we are all part of a larger, gentler story.
And so as the night deepens and sleep draws near, hold these images in your heart, the gentle lights, the dancing spirits, the quiet hum of the universe. Let them carry you into a peaceful, dream-filled sleep. High above the sleeping world, gentle electrons drift in from the sun. They meet oxygen atoms floating at the edge of space, somewhere between 60 and 150 miles up. This quiet meeting creates a soft green light, a delicate neon-like radiance that spills across the dark polar sky. Imagine it washing over silent snowy landscapes, in slow waves of emerald, like the Earth itself is dreaming in color. Far to the south, the same quiet magic unfolds. The southern hemisphere holds its own version of this dance, called the aurora australis. These mirrored lights float over the untouched ice of Antarctica and the distant shores of Tasmania. They reflect the same solar rhythms, the same gentle pulse from the sun, as their northern sisters. In that vast frozen silence, the colors sway with a patient, knowing grace. Sometimes the sun grows more active in what we call the solar maximum. During these times, the lights drift further from the poles, like a soft whisper spreading out into the world. People in the United Kingdom or the northern reaches of the United States might glance up and catch the gentle shimmer. It is a rare and tender gift, a fleeting moment of connection to the great celestial dance usually hidden from their skies. All of this is guided by a quiet force. The Earth's magnetic field acts like a soft protective blanket, wrapping the planet in an invisible embrace. It gently guides the solar particles toward the north and south poles. This magnetic guidance keeps the lights concentrated in those polar regions, creating a sanctuary of color, a secret garden of light far from the busy cities and the waking world. Watching the aurora feels like observing a slow-motion river of light flowing across a velvet sky. The curtains of color shift and sway with a quiet grace. As if they are breathing, they mirror the rhythmic breathing of the sleeping world below. Each wave of light, each slow fold of green moves in perfect harmony with the deep peace of the night. While green is the color we most often see, there are times when the sky is brushed with violet and blue. These rare hues come to life when solar particles drift deeper into our atmosphere. They meet nitrogen molecules there, high above the sleeping world, and together they create a soft, royal glow. Imagine a velvet curtain gently floating across the midnight sky. That is what these colors feel like. Quiet and regal, drifting with infinite slowness. They appear without hurry, as if the night itself is breathing them into being. A deep purple ribbon, then a wash of pale blue, so faint you might think your eyes are dreaming. These lights are not only seen, sometimes they are heard. On the stillest nights, when the air is cold and the earth is silent, a faint sound can drift down from above. Observers have described it as a gentle crackle or a soft whisper, like the rustle of dry leaves or a quiet breath of static.
Scientists believe this may be the discharge of electricity in the air. A tiny, rhythmic song played by the aurora itself. It is never loud enough to startle. Instead, it mingles with the quiet, as if the stars themselves are murmuring. If you ever hear it, you will understand how alive the night can be. Long ago in ancient Norse mythology, people looked up and saw something different. They saw the shimmering armor of the Valkyries. These were the warrior maidens who drifted through the heavens. As they rode, their polished gear caught the moonlight. It cast a peaceful glow, gently falling over the sleeping earth. Imagine that gleaming metal, moving softly across the dark. No clash of battle, only the reflected light of the moon. It was a sign of protection, a silent guardian over the land. A quiet promise woven into the fabric of the night sky.
Even now, you can almost see them if you let your eyes grow soft. What drives these lights is a force both vast and gentle. It is the solar wind, a steady stream of charged particles. These particles flow from the sun at millions of miles per hour. Yet by the time they reach us, they are guided with care. Earth's magnetic field embraces them like an invisible river. This river carries the particles slowly toward the poles. They drift and gather, glowing as they move. It is a river of light, silent and endless. There is no rush, no sudden movement, just a continuous flow, a serene migration from the sun to our quiet planet. And this dance is not ours alone. Far to the south, the same magic unfolds. The aurora australis graces the skies of Antarctica. It mirrors the northern lights in a perfect synchronized ballet. The same solar energy reflected across the two opposite ends of our world. Imagine the two auroras, one in the north, one in the south. They shimmer at the same moment, connected by invisible lines. Our quiet planet cradles this light at both poles. It is as if the Earth itself is breathing in and out, with a glow that comes and goes, peaceful and eternal. As you settle into the quiet of the night, let your mind wander to the gentle lights above. They dance in the polar skies, a soft and ancient rhythm. Their colors come from the very air we breathe. Oxygen atoms, high in the atmosphere, create the most iconic hues. When touched by solar particles, they glow with a warm yellow-green light. It is a soothing color, like a slow, steady heartbeat in the sky. And if you look closely, at different altitudes, these same atoms can paint a different shade. A soft, drifting crimson red, floating gently through the darkness. It is a quiet transformation, a delicate shift from green to red, like the fading embers of a distant fire. Imagine this color spreading slowly, a warm breath in the cold polar night. These hues are like a gentle conversation between the sun and our atmosphere, a soft exchange of energy that has been happening for eons. This light does not appear everywhere. It follows a hidden path, a ring-shaped region around the magnetic poles. Scientists call it the aurora oval. This invisible circle shifts and breathes, expanding and contracting. It moves to the quiet rhythms of the sun's activity, a gentle pulse from our star, shaping the dance of the lights below. In this oval, the lights are most frequently seen, a constant, luminous companion in the polar darkness. It is a reminder of the unseen forces that guide our world. Imagine this oval as a quiet crown around the poles, a luminous halo that cradles the night in its gentle embrace. Long ago, early explorers traveled through the frozen Arctic. They looked up and saw these lights as a celestial guide. The ribbons of light would float and sway across the vast, silent sky. But the explorers knew the shifting colors could be deceptive. They watched the lights with respect, marking the deep, frozen stillness of the wilderness. In that immense solitude, the aurora was a moving painting, a gentle sign in the endless night. It brought a sense of wonder, but also a quiet caution in the icy silence. They relied on its presence, yet understood its mysterious nature, a silent partner in their journeys through the white expanse. The intensity of these lights is not constant. It follows a grand cycle, an 11-year solar rhythm. Every 11 years, the sun reaches a peak known as the solar maximum. During these years, the sky becomes a more frequent canvas. Glowing, emerald waves drift across the heavens with greater regularity. It is a time of quiet abundance, where the night is painted with soft, luminous strokes. This cycle continues,
a slow and steady pulse from our sun. During these peaks, the aurora becomes a more vivid presence, a soft green river flowing through the starry darkness. To truly see these lights, you must find a place of deep darkness, far from the humming glow of city lights, where the world falls silent. In the stillness of the tundra, the atmosphere becomes a transparent window. The soft light can then drift downward in a peaceful descent. It falls gently, like a quiet lullaby for the eyes. In that darkness, you can feel the vastness of the sky and the delicate beauty of the aurora. A gentle reminder of the wonders that surround us, even in the deepest night. In such moments, you might feel a deep connection to the cosmos, a sense of peace as the universe reveals its quiet spectacle. And so, as you rest, a deep, floating purple, the rarest of the lights, it drifts into being only when solar particles sink softly into the atmosphere. They meet nitrogen, and a quiet, royal glow unfolds only during the most intense yet silent solar storms. In Old Norse dreams, the lights were not light at all. They were the shimmering armor of the Valkyries.
These celestial riders glided across the sky. Their shields caught the moonlight. A peaceful, dancing radiance spilled over the dark earth. So still, so gentle. The lights are not ours alone. Out there, in the vast silence, Jupiter wears them. Saturn too. These great planets hold powerful magnetic fields. They guide solar particles so softly toward their poles. Vast, swirling curtains of light float in the deep, silent darkness of space. A quiet wonder, listen. Can you hear it? Sometimes the lights make a sound. Not a loud sound. A whisper, a soft crackle, a faint rustle. Like the sky is breathing next to you. This quiet lullaby is born miles above where electricity discharges gently. In the still, cold air, the sleeping world never hears it. But your dreams might. The colors themselves are a kind of quiet music. They come from altitude, from the kind of gas-touched oxygen down low, gives that familiar pale green. High above, it breathes a warm, deep red.
Nitrogen. Ah, nitrogen brings the soft blues and those fragile purples, every hue a gentle sigh of height. A lullaby written in light, and as you drift deeper, all these colors, all these quiet stories, they hold you. Soft, warm. Still, close your eyes and let your mind drift to the far reaches of our world. To places where the night is long and the silence is vast. There, in the deep quiet of the polar darkness, a gentle light begins to stir. The aurora borealis awakens in the northern sky. And at the very same moment, its twin, the aurora australis, mirrors it in the south. They are like two soft, glowing heartbeats, pulsing slowly at opposite ends of the planet. A shared rhythm of light in the still, cold darkness. Imagine that, a luminous breath connecting the top and bottom of our world. This quiet dance is born from a long journey across space. The sun sends out a steady stream of charged particles, the solar wind, drifting at millions of miles per hour. But it arrives as a soft, invisible caress, almost like a whisper from our star. When this solar wind meets Earth's magnetic shield, it is guided gently, like a hand leading you home. The particles drift slowly toward the poles, settling into the upper air, and there, in the stillness, they begin to glow, painting the darkness with soft hues of emerald and violet. A peaceful illumination that feels like a secret the sky is sharing only with you. For centuries, this light was a quiet companion to those who wandered the Arctic seas. Imagine a ship, small and silent, drifting through the vast cold ocean. The water is still, the air is crisp, and the night is deep. Above, the aurora weaves its gentle luminescence, a natural beacon in the sky. Sailors looked up and found guidance in its soft glow, a warm presence in the long, solitary voyage. It helped them navigate the stillness of the midnight sea, a silent friend in the darkness. The light was like a murmured lullaby, easing their way through the quiet waters. The sun has its own gentle rhythm, a cycle of 11 years. At its peak, The solar maximum, it becomes more vibrant, sending out extra streams of particles. During this time, the aurora's soft curtains drift further from the poles. They reach places usually untouched by this celestial display, spreading their peaceful dance southward. More people can then look up and see the drifting lights, a quiet spectacle of emerald and violet. It is a serene gift offered every 11 years to those who wait in the darkness. A reminder that even the sky can move with a slow, gentle grace. If you wish to witness this beauty in its fullest form, you must seek out the deepest quiet. Travel far from the warm glow of city lights into the still cold of the far north. There, the sky transforms into a velvet canvas of absolute darkness. And on that canvas, the aurora paints with soft brushstrokes of drifting color. Emerald and violet swirl slowly, like a peaceful dream unfolding above you. In that moment, the world becomes completely still, and the only thing that moves is the gentle light. It is a quiet lullaby for the soul, a moment of pure, serene peace. So, as you drift off tonight, imagine yourself under that vast, silent sky. Feel the cold air on your skin, the stillness around you, and let the soft glow of the aurora carry you into a deep, restful sleep. Good night. Shh, just listen. The night has a story to tell, a quiet story written in light. Imagine the sun so far away, it sends out tiny, invisible particles. They travel on a gentle stream, crossing the endless dark. They reach our Earth. The planet's magnetic field wraps them in a warm, unseen guide. They slide down, down towards the poles. And when they touch the air, the sky begins to glow, not with a flash, but with a soft, slow blooming of light. Like a breath, released after a long stillness, it moves like a thought, faint and shifting, a living painting, never the same. The light most often is a pale, tender green. It forms where the air is thicker. Down low, the particles meet oxygen. A quiet alchemy happens there. A curtain of luminescence appears. It feels as if the atmosphere itself has learned to dream. The green sways gently. It breathes in and out, a rhythm older than words, a silken, shimmering veil. Floating above the sleeping world, endlessly calm, sometimes, way above, where the air is thin and cold, a deeper red emerges. This happens at the very edge of our atmosphere, where the sky meets the great darkness. It's rare, like a secret, whispered from the highest clouds. The crimson light spreads out, warm and soft, a velvet haze that seems to hold the stillness of space. You might almost feel it on your skin, a distant comfort, glowing from above, a peace that reaches down through the vast, dark night. Then there are the whispers of purple and blue. They come from nitrogen, hidden at the bottom edge of the curtain. These colors are shy. They only appear when the sun sends a little more of its quiet energy, a gentle extra pulse. Then at the fringe, you might see a faint violet, delicate as the edge of a flower petal. A fleeting hint of magic, there and then gone. Like a dream half remembered, slipping away as you fall deeper into sleep. And far south, silent and unseen by most, the same soft wonder unfolds. The southern lights, the aurora australis, mirror their northern sisters. Both dances happen at once, balanced and serene, like two halves of a quiet lullaby. Our planet, calm and whole, wrapped in a gentle symmetry of light, a slow, warm rhythm rocking it through the vastness. Two crowns of glowing peace at either end of the world. Let that image hold you, the earth still and quiet, cradled by this soft light, a warm breath in and out, just like yours, slow, deep, and drifting into rest. As you rest here, let your mind drift to a very old story. In ancient Norse legends, these lights were whispered to be the shimmering armor of the Valkyries. Floating silently through the vast, dark heavens, a soft bridge of light connecting our world to a place of eternal peace. And as you breathe in deeply, another tender thought arises. Some Inuit traditions held that the lights were really the spirits of ancestors, playing a quiet game of soccer with a walrus skull. turning the cold night sky into a warm, comforting connection with those who came before. Now feel the slow rhythm of the sun, a deep, steady cycle lasting about 11 years. During the solar maximum, these drifting ribbons of color paint the velvet darkness more often, like a gentle breath made visible.
Close your eyes and listen. Beyond what you see, the lights can produce a very quiet sound, a soft crackle or maybe a tiny hiss, as if the night itself is whispering. This rare, elusive sound happens when electrical charges build ever so gently near the frozen ground. Let yourself be carried to the still, frozen landscapes of the auroral oval. Places like Norway, Iceland, Canada, where the deep silence of the snow feels so vast, and the floating motion of the lights seems to slow the whole world down. Just for you, a pale green sigh from oxygen, as if the planet itself is breathing out old light into the endless dark. A rare bloom of violet brushes the edge of the sky. It is the softest fingerprint of nitrogen, a color you feel more than see. A quiet migration of light. Charged particles from the sun come home to the poles, touching the night with luminous hands. A bridge of woven starlight. The Old Norse called it Bifrost, a trembling path where gods could walk down to the quiet earth. A mirror in the deep south. Over the Antarctic ice, the same silent fire drifts unseen by most, a private canopy of dreaming color. A perfect alignment in the equinox tide. The earth leans back into the solar wind, and the sky opens, a slow canvas brushed with light. Some say the aurora sings in faint whispers, a soft melody born of electricity breathing quietly near the sleeping ground. Galileo looked north and saw dawn itself, and named it the morning wind, a gentle glow born from Latin and wonder in 1619. High in the thermosphere where the air grows thin and still, the lights drift between 60 and 250 miles above our quiet world. Ancient eyes saw not physics but family, ancestors dancing in ribbons of memory, the sky a warm gathering of luminous souls. The curtains of light undulate with impossible slowness, floating across the stars like a cosmic breath drawn out across eternity. And with that gentle image still glowing in your mind, I think it's time to let the night take you fully now. If this quiet journey through the northern lights helped ease you towards sleep, a soft like would be a lovely thing to leave behind. And if you subscribe, I'll be here whenever you need me, ready to guide you somewhere peaceful again, as you drift off. May your own dreams move like those slow curtains of light, gliding softly across the stars inside you. Rest now. Everything is exactly as it should be.